Hello, Kimmer Aharu. This is Sim0nTrains, or some people might call me Sim0nTrains, and you join me in the Premier Inn where I'm staying at, but won't be here too much longer. Because today we are travelling on the North Berwick Line. Now what the North Berwick Line is, it's mainly the Scottish East Coast Main Line, from Edinburgh Waverley to North Berwick. But North Berwick Station is actually not on the East Coast Main Line. The other stations, however, are on the East Coast Main Line, and these are the ones we are visiting today. All stations. Musselburgh, Wallyford, Prestonpans, Longniddry, Drem, North Berwick. So we're just going to have a day on the East Coast Main Line because I have not really been on the East Coast Main Line as much because of this pandemic. So the only thing I need to do now is grab the bag, which is just here. I will see you at Glasgow Queen Street Station. So we're now at Glasgow Queen Street Station. This is 1R32, the 0915 to Edinburgh. We're going to board that train shortly, and then we're going to travel straight to Edinburgh Waverley from Glasgow Queen Street. Windy today, but about Jacob's Ladders, I decided to take a walk around Edinburgh. Now the reason about Jacob's Ladders is, even though it's a load of steps going down, is behind me here, which I'm just going to turn the camera now, just be careful not to fall over. Just over there is the eastern end of Edinburgh Waverley Station. And it's a lovely view from Jacob's Ladders. So we're now on the 10:42 ScotRail service. We're going to head to Musselburgh station first, which is about 4 minutes from Edinburgh Waverley station. 385043 will be taking us there. There's another 385 coupled to the back, but I don't know which number it is. And yes, we also have
I'm back again, folks.
Jordan with us again. So we're going to leave now to head to our first station. But when we get to Musselburgh, I'm not going to be filming there straight away, but I'll explain that when we get to the station. So we're now made to Musselburgh station. Now, before we start filming at this railway station, we're actually going to be visiting the North British Railway Station, which is actually roughly about 1.5 miles from this location. Because the North British Railway had a branch line built from the East Coast Main Line to Musselburgh itself. So we're going to visit that location first, and then we're going to come back and film the trains here. Oh, by the way, Jordan's just up there. So you now join me in Musselburgh itself. Now the reason I've come here is because there's a disused railway station roughly where I'm standing. The trains from Edinburgh used to come off that bridge there where the cars are coming off from. If you turn around this way, Jordan's with us by the way, just right here is Musselburgh's original station. There's nothing left, but this station opened on the 14th of July 1847 and it closed to passengers on the 9th of September 1964. Honestly with you, there's nothing left at Musselburgh station, it's just a car park and an open field. But the only thing that probably made the original station you could see is not in part of the station, it's bridge down here, over the River Esk. Now the other thing I will talk about quickly here before we head back to the railway station is this right here, because this is Haywaite's clock. The Haywaite clock was presented to Musselburgh and Fisher Road by Mr. Adam Black, WS, in 1909. The clock with its casing was originally located at the junction of Bridge Street and North High Street on top of the old Haywaite House, which was built in the 1880s and demolished in the late 1960s. The casing included a replacement clock which was restored to its present site with the financial support of Tesco Store Limited, East Lothian Council and Musselburgh Conversion Society. To be honest, it was a 20-minute walk, but he just cheated and got the bus. So we now got the North British Railway station out of the way. This is the current Musselburgh station. ScotRail operated station, and yes, it does have 2 platforms indeed. So our first station history of the day is Musselburgh Station. Now the first Musselburgh Station opened in June 1846 on the main line between Berwick-upon-Tweed and Edinburgh Waverley. This was owned by the North British Railway, but was renamed to Edinburgh Station in July 1847, but that station closed on the 4th of May 1964. The second Musselburgh Station, which we just visited, was a terminus which opened in July 1847 but closed to passengers in September 1964. The current Musselburgh station opened by British Rail on the 3rd of October 1988, and the 3-letter station code for Musselburgh is MUB. So as you can see, Jordan's still with me. Can't shake Jordan off.
Yep.
But we are going to be leaving Musselburgh Station now. Now we had 2 hours in Musselburgh because the first day I went to the disused railway station, the North British Railway Station. We had the second hour filled with the trains, not at Jordan but at Musselburgh Station. They're going to be quite difficult to fill in trains with you, in a way. But anyway, our next station will be Wallyford we'll be visiting. So we're going to catch our train now to Wallyford Station.
Service to North Berwick. This train is formed of 6 carriages.
First of all, it's going to be quite windy today, so if you can't hear my voice, I do apologise, but it can't be helped. And Jordan's doing something funny in the background I can see. Anyway, this is Wallyford Station, ScotRail managed station on the East Coast Main Line. And yes, it still has 2 platforms. So we're now going to move on to the station history of Wallyford Station. Now, the first Wallyford station opened by the North British Railway in June 1866, but this station was very short-lived and closed to passengers in October 1867. Today's station we are standing on opened on the 13th of June 1994 by rail track, and the 3-letter station code for Wallyford is WAF. Wallyford Station. I did miss one train though because I wasn't really paying attention. Apparently on that platform there's no stand clear announcements, but there's stand clear announcements on this platform. Anyway, we're going to be leaving Wallyford shortly. We just got 2 stopping trains to film, which are the North Berwick to Edinburgh Waverley services. One of them is my train to my next location, which is one of my favourite stations on the East Coast Main Line in Scotland, Prestonpans. So we're going to catch the train arriving on the other platform, the train arriving on my platform, then we're off to Prestonpans. Before we arrive into Prestonpans station, I'm just going to show you this map on screen now because I noticed something interesting that needs to be explained. Now, the red line you see is the current line that the trains are using today, but that is not the original part of the route. Now, what I have noticed on old OS maps is that the line in yellow is the old track layout which the North British Railway used, and now has me wondering, why was the track realigned? Was it for the East Coast Main Line electrification, or was it for something else? But I can't think too much now because we are pulling into Prestonpans station. If you're a follower of Sim0nTrains, you know her favourite station is Preston. But this is one of my favourite stations. This is Prestonpans. ScotRail operated station, yes, it does have 2 platforms. And a lovely station building on this side as well. We're now going to move on to the station's history of Prestonpans Station. Prestonpans Station opened on the 22nd of June 1846 by the North British Railway. The station was renamed to Prestonpans for Tranent at one point, but was renamed back to Prestonpans, and the 3-letter station code for Prestonpans is PST. Another good thing I like about Prestonpans is you got a lovely long straight down there, which you can see trains coming in advance here. And on this side behind me here, you've got a lovely sexy curve down here, and it's like on the S-bend, and you can see the trains coming on the S-bend in advance. And also drivers, even though they don't have to, or they're very kind to, actually gives you tones here as well. So it's a lovely station to get tones of trains as well. I wish I could stay here all day at Prestonpans, but unfortunately we've got to move on to our next location. Our next location is Longniddry. Now when we get there, because we're going to catch a Class 380 to 0, which is running Edinburgh to North Berwick, because on this line the stopping service is either Class 380 or Class 385 EMU. But when we get to Longniddry, there is an interesting path 4 minutes later after that train leaves. And it's an East Coast train path, because there is an open access operator coming soon to the East Coast Main Line called East Coast Trains. I think that's what they're going to be called. And they're going to be running a limited service from Edinburgh to London King's Cross, which the main calling points will be Morpeth and Newcastle. I think they also might be calling it York and Stevenage as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that. So, while they do the driver training, I think they're borrowing their first haul trains, Class 802. So we might be getting that through Longniddry if it's running on time. So our train should be arriving now to take us there. It is honestly windy here, but this is our next station we are visiting. This is Longniddry station, ScotRail operated station, and yes, it has 2 platforms as well. So we're now moving on to the station history of Longniddry station. Longniddry opened by the North British Railway on the 22nd of June 1846. On the same day, a branch line to Haddington also opened. Later on in 1898, the Gaeilgeoir branch opened, but both of these branch lines closed to passengers and freight. And the 3-letter station code for Longniddry is LND. Like with Prestonpans station, Longniddry station you've got to be on the North Berwick bound platform because there's a curve down there that goes to the right. But you can look on this side, there is another sexy curve down here. Now you used to see trains coming in advance from down there, but apparently there's hedges grown there now, so you can't really see the trains coming in advance when they come round the corner. But on Longniddry station, you get stand clear announcements. Mind the busy road down here, but just further down there you can actually see Blacklist Bay, or the Firth of Forth, literally just behind these houses here. But we are going to be leaving Longniddry station because we are going to our last East Coast Main Line station of today. But it's not our last station, which we'll explain at the next one. We're going to Drem station. After Drem, the North Berwick services divert away from the East Coast Main Line. But we are waiting for our train now to take us to Drem. Oh my days, the wind is strong in this one. But anyway, this is Drem station on the East Coast Main Line. ScotRail operated station, and yes, it does have 2 platforms indeed. We're now moving on to the station history of Drem Station. Drem Station opened on the 22nd of June 1846 by the North British Railway. The North Berwick branch line opened in 1849, and we shall be visiting that branch line shortly. Now, the stations of Prestonpans, Longniddry, Drem and North Berwick almost fell victim to the Beeching Axe in 1968, when British Rail applied to close the branch line and those railway stations, but this request was denied in 1969. And the 3-letter station code for Drem is DRM. Also at Drem, you can just see the Drem up and down goods loops behind me here. Now just after the up and down goods loop, the North Berwick line diverts off the East Coast Main Line. Now the reason I'm on the Edinburgh bound platform is because right next door there, where Jordan is, with a fanfare, is a 40 miles per hour sign for the Drem up the goods loop. And that does block your view of the trains passing through when they're coming from this end towards Edinburgh. behind me at Drem Station is not the original footbridge. Now if you want to see that original footbridge, you actually need to go to Settle Station on the Settle Carlisle line, because they removed that footbridge when they were putting the wires up on the East Coast Main Line electrification programme. Now, Drem Station actually has some lovely station buildings. I will be honest, there's some lovely North British Railway style buildings. But this one here in front, behind me, is actually not the original station building. Because in the mid-80s, British Rail started knocking that station building down. But it was a listed building and they were ordered to put that building back up as a replica. And that is actually a replica North British Rail style building. So we shall be leaving Drem Station in a minute, because we're going on a branch line of the East Coast Main Line at North Berwick Station. Now, it's just after the Drem passing loop, so I will film it going off the East Coast Main Line when we leave. Last station we are filming today at is North Berwick Station. ScotRail managed station. Now, when North Berwick was open it did have 2 platforms, but today it's only got the 1 platform. I love it when a station shows you their brief history, and North Berwick does have a brief history right here. It shows you what the station used to look like back in its heyday with the 2 platforms. But there's a photo here that caught my eye with a Class 90 electric locomotive, because in 2005 North Berwick services were actually operated by Class 90 electric locomotives from ScotRail. They were local haul trains on this line. Now unfortunately it did take about 2 minutes for that unit to arrive into North Berwick Station, because the speed limit into North Berwick Station is actually 5 miles per hour. So that's why it took a bit longer to film that arriving into North Berwick. So this is our final station history of the day we're going to be talking about. This is North Berwick. North Berwick Station opened on the 17th of June 1850 by the North British Railway. Now in the days of steam, most North Berwick services would terminate at Drem Station, which was just visited, and they would have to connect onto mainline services, but in 1958, the EMUs started operating the line with most services ran to Edinburgh Waverley. However, in 1985 the station buildings were demolished and the main platform was shortened to today's station we see, and the three-letter station code for North Berwick is NBW. Even though North Berwick Station is just down there, the original station when it opened actually came to this car park here. And I have noticed something on this car park which is just in this direction here. Where that North Berwick sign is there is actually a part of the station canopy. And that's pretty impressive that being the old station still survives in North Berwick. Well, first of all, Jordan wanted to be in this update I'm about to do. If he's not scared you off with his dancing.
Yeah, hello.
You know, I'm going to have to censor that now.
What?
You said the P word.
You can technically go beep.
Yeah. Anyway, because of a wasp. Now, we're not having a full hour at North Berwick Station because we're only filming about 45 minutes.
Yep.
Even though we're going to be here for an hour when the next train comes in.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, the next two trains are not till like nearly 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, didn't want to really hang around North Berwick till 7 o'clock. So, 45 minutes filming, 4 trains in a clip. That's easy enough to do. So, after North Berwick, we're going straight back to Edinburgh Waverley, but we have filmed all the stations up to North Berwick today successfully. Anything you want to say?
Yes. I'm on the 7:15 to Glen office and he's on the 7:15 to Glasgow, so we'll be racing each other.
Yes, because when I get back to Edinburgh, I'll be on the 7:15 back to Glasgow Queen Street, and he's be on 7:15 going up the 5.
Welcome aboard our ScotRail service to Edinburgh Waverley.
When we got back to Edinburgh Waverley Station, we just jumped on this 1915 service to Glasgow Queen Street High Level. So I didn't really film anything at Edinburgh Waverley because there was really no point. Anyway, we should be pulling into Longniddry very soon, then we're going to make our way to Polmont, Falkirk High, Croy, and then terminate at Glasgow Queen Street. So I'm now back in the Premier Inn at Glasgow St Eocs. And before we start talking about today's events, because there wasn't really much challenging for today. The challenge is, when I pick this up in a second, is to get this bloody bin emptied. They haven't emptied this for the past 2 days. Started filling up Monday and it's now Wednesday, and look at all that stuff. I think someone's been on the eyebrow too much. I even left it outside this morning, see if they emptied it, but no. So when I came back to my hotel room, it wasn't emptied, which is I don't know, but anyway. Let's talk about today's events. Let's summarise it all up, because we started at Glasgow Queen Street, went over to Edinburgh Waverley, and then we caught the 10:42 service to Musselburgh. Now, I didn't film at Musselburgh straight away because I wanted to visit the North British Railway Station, which closed in 1964. And it was a lovely area to visit, but to be honest, there was only like grass and a car park there, and a bell as well, or a clock. Yeah, clock, sorry. So there wasn't really much there, but it was nice to visit the site of the old Musselburgh station, because I do talk about it a lot when I go to Musselburgh, but actually visiting the site is different. Then went over to Musselburgh railway station. Now, I was going to walk it there, but me and Jordan took the bus. We cheated a bit. But went back to Musselburgh station, filmed the trains at Musselburgh. Then we went over to Wallyford, filmed the trains at Wallyford. There was no problems whatsoever because all the stations were unstaffed. Went over to Prestonpans. Prestonpans is one of my favourite locations on the East Coast Main Line, and we had no trouble there. Filmed all the trains at Prestonpan. Went over to Longniddry. Again, no problems there. Filmed all the trains passing through, but we did get a first haul trains. It's actually just haul trains now, but it's part of the first group. Even though haul trains is an open access operator. But that was working the East Coast driver train services that are going to start soon from Edinburgh Waverley to London King's Cross, which only stop at Newcastle, Morpeth, Newcastle, I think York and Stevenage, but I'm not too sure. I definitely know Morpeth and Newcastle are one or two regular stops on that service. And then went over to Drem. We got that whole trains coming back through Drem. And we also got a TransPennine Express Class 802 that was also doing driver train for the East Coast franchise. Well, it's not a franchise, open access operator when it comes in. And after that, we went over to North Berwick. Did some filming in North Berwick. We only had like 45 minutes in North Berwick and wasn't really much filming there done, but we got about 4 trains in and 2 trains in, 2 trains out. That's enough for North Berwick. Then went back over to Edinburgh Waverley, went back over to Glasgow Queen Street. I didn't film much, to be honest, because I didn't really want to stuff the video with more stuff that wasn't really needed. And then when I went back to Glasgow Queen Street, I just walked it back because I picked this up along the way. I'm going to have a KFC in a second. Don't know how that's going to go with the bin like. And that's it, I just came back here. So before we go, of course, if you got this far, feel free to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. But we have missed one thing out of today's trip. So I'm going to put this at the end now. If you got this far, you have been awesome. Here's Carol jumping on the bed. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. I'll see you for another Scotland video pretty soon.